Okay, so good afternoon, welcome to HTB's live broadcast on Periscope. My name is Jack Watts. I am lead market analyst for cereals and oilseeds. Addressing you today is just under a month to go until this year's Grain Market Outlook Conference on the 12th of October down in London. All set to be quite an exciting morning. It really got an interesting time, a backdrop of Brexit on top of all of the usual market rumblings but it's really important that we kind of appreciate the backdrop of Brexit, but then appreciate what's going on in the market as well, both at a global, European and indeed UK level as well. Now, the big implication of the vote for the UK to leave the EU on the 23rd of June has been the currency, and that kind of led almost a bit of a Brexit honeymoon, if you will, for the UK agricultural industry. A huge way to go, that has to be said. Currency, though, has had quite an implication on pricing. If we consider UK prices since the 23rd of June, UK wheat futures since then have actually gone up by almost 6%. Contrast that against futures in the US, Chicago futures for December 16 down almost 16%, and European futures down by around 3.5% as well. So currency really has shielded the UK to an extent against some of the low prices being seen around the world this autumn. Some big key factors to consider going on in the grain market this year. It's another big grain crop for the Northern Hemisphere producers. No real major issues as well. We have Southern Hemisphere grain yet to come in, even in some cases yet to be planted, but given the nature of the scale of the stocks around the world, unlikely that it's going to result in major volatility should we see any issues affecting those crops. As I mentioned, globally it's quite an abundance of grain stocks. Having said that, though, there's some debate to be had about how mobile those stocks are into the global marketplace, should they need to be, and indeed the location of stocks, and just how reliable that stocks data is. A lot of debate going on about just how reliable the data on Chinese grain stocks, for instance, is. That's quite poignant given the sheer volume, the share of global grain stocks perceived to be held in China right now. That's a long-running issue and represents quite a risk to the global grain market as well. We've seen robust maize supplies across the Northern Hemisphere this season. No real weather issues come through the critical summer growing season, and that's quite interesting and quite important. That hollows out the market beneath the wheat market, principally the feed wheat market as well. In the EU, of course, we've seen French crop issues, but that hasn't really been enough to offset these massive crops we've seen elsewhere, particularly coming out of Russia. There's a lot of detail to cover in the conference, and we will do that then. To come bringing it back to the UK, it's an interesting year for UK grain. During the conference, we'll talk about the newly released supply and demand estimates, what the shift in varieties means for the UK wheat market, the shift to more Group 1, Group 2 varieties in the mix, and what the quality profile also means in combination with wheat currency. Does that create an opportunity for the UK? How does it all fit together? That's one of the things we'll be exploring. So this year's opportunities really is an opportunity to talk about the short and the long term. So in addition to the comprehensive insight into the grain markets, we'll have strategy grains coming in to talk about oilseeds. Oilseed rape in the UK he's gone through a torrid time. We've seen reductions in areas, really cabbage stem flea beetle, but the broader economic situation as well taking its toll. And we'll be looking to the year ahead to try and see what that has in store, both short and longer term into the harvest 2017. Then, in the theme of Brexit, really we'll be looking to AHDB's own David Swales to really set out what the long-term challenges look like, not necessarily to speculate, but to really articulate what the challenges will be the UK will have to negotiate to get some kind of clearer identification of what's going on. One thing's clear is the need for competitiveness could not be stronger, and that's why we've asked Agri-Benchmark to come over and talk to the conference about what international competitiveness is, why it's important to be competitive as a driver successful global trade. And now is the time really to start having that kind of dialogue, doing that kind of research. It's not really the time now to start speculating about what might or might not happen. It's really time to prepare for really the unknown. We've had 40 years of the Common Agricultural Policy influence UK agriculture, and so based on that, leaving the EU will likely result in some significant change for both the structure of the industry and its supply chains, but also the systems that have been so keenly used in recent years. So really it's just an opportunity to sense check our competitiveness, our sources of resilience, and the Grain Market Outlook Conference is a unique opportunity for the industry to have access to really some of this independent insight that is critically available right now. So look forward to seeing as many as possible of you on the 12th of October. Thank you.